Depressed? Overworked? Job suck? Unappreciated? Family problems? Money worries? Well, we have a pill for you. Fucking 1,000 milligrams.
Come on in and sit down. You cut the hardcore crew chewing the fat. You cut us shooting the shit. You cut us in the moment. Hello everyone, I am your hardcore host Brickhead, and welcome to the special edition of In the Moment, where we're going to do this Sunday's Fastlane's picks. So, first I'd like to introduce the hardcore crew. He is the son of a bitch Andy. Andy, what's going on?
I've got an investigation tomorrow night, which is unusual on a Friday. It's normally on a Saturday, hence that's why Sarah has booked a day off work, so she doesn't get up early in the morning, so she's sitting on the settee listening.
Alrighty, and of course, always hello to Sarah. And now, I gotta tell you, Andy, before we go finish off with the crew, you have now been officially labeled the HWR Fall Guy, so any kind of hate mail we gotta send to you.
Okay, no problem. Don't forget to send it to Andy2E1SOB@AOL.com.
In the immortal words of Nelson Muntz.
And if I say anything that offends you on the radio show, send me an email and I'll fucking offend you in person.
And then we have the classic wrestling manager, Joseph Knight. Joe, what's up?
Not much, and I'm always offending people. I guess that's why they always label me too. You can also watch Fastlane on the WWE Network for how much, Lance?
$9.99.
No.
$9.99.
And that's the incomparable Lance Moss. Lance, you're over at youtube.com/LanceMossTV. What's going on, man?
Oh, nothing much. Just doing what I do, and let's get this on, man.
Yeah, well, let's start off with the kickoff match. And it's going to be Alberto Del Rio versus Kalisto in a U.S. title match. This is 2 out of 3 falls. Now, I think it's easy to say, guys, that it's going to go to the 3 matches. It's never going to be a clean sweep. If I had to make a pick, I would like to say Alberto, only because Sin Cara is now back in action. Andy, would you agree?
Yeah, fully agree, yeah.
Okay. Joe, how do you see this match playing out?
I see definitely Alberto winning the first match, Little Kalisto winning the second match, and the third match, Rey Mysterio Jr. comes in, beats the hell out of Kalisto, and rolls him back in, and Del Rio wins the title.
Fair enough. Now, we have something, and I don't know what this segment is later on, and I wanted to get this thing out of the way. It's the Rated R Peep Show, where the New Day is going to be their guest. Lance, is this even necessary?
In the words of Stone Cold Steve Austin, oh, hell no.
Yeah, I think the problem is, guys, is that Edge and Christian continue to try to play this silly little tag team, and it's not working anymore, Andy. What are your thoughts?
Yeah, it was funny when it was going on 10 years ago, but it certainly isn't funny now. It's gone way past its sell-by date.
And why in the hell are they giving them their own show?
And you know what, Joe?
Yep.
Yeah, and you know what, Joe? That's an interesting question. Do they, they're giving this whole Chris and Edge's show. I know it's not like reeks of Austin of a show. I don't even know the fucking name because I'm not paying that much attention.
Holy reeks of suckitude.
Yeah, right.
But so back over this whole show, is it necessary? What's the point?
What's the point? They're running out of pretty much stuff to put on the network. They have to fill it with whatever they can fill in. Next week, it will be visiting the Wyatts in their backyard campground with all the people tied up in the basement. They're running out of footage. They're running out of stuff to do on the network. They got to keep it interesting. So soon you're going to start seeing many more of these little nostalgia teams coming up. And let me say, Edge and Christian trying to be funny is like watching DX reform again. They're too old to do it, and I think they need to move on with that.
Now, one of the bigger matches is it's a non-title match, but that's AJ Styles versus Chris Jericho. Now, these two have been pretty much started the feud, started Royal Rumble, where AJ Styles eliminated Chris Jericho, and then they had a match following where AJ Styles got the win, and then I think a couple weeks later at Smackdown, Jericho got a win. So they've been trying to build this up, and you knew it was coming to Fastlane. It's been officially announced. So, Andy, AJ Styles, Chris Jericho, it's 1-1. How do you see this coming out?
I'd like to see Chris Jericho win, but I think he's there just to give AJ Styles a push, so I'm going to give it to AJ. But I'm really gunning for Y2J.
And you know what? I have to agree with you. I think that's one of his, over the past few years, that's one of the things he's done the most, and that's putting over the younger talent. Joe, your thoughts?
I got to say, it's going to be a phenomenal match. No pun intended. I got to see AJ taking it. I can actually see them shaking hands and maybe becoming a tag team.
What
I think the tag team might...
out then?
I think the tag team angle might be a little bit much. I think if they want to continue to push AJ Styles, they want to have him move on to somebody else and kind of keep him fresh. Lance, your thoughts?
Well, I don't think the tag team thing, but I do think the match will be phenomenal, and yes, pun intended. But, well, yeah, I got to go with AJ on this one.
No.
Hopefully Jericho don't lose a tooth.
Now, on the next one, we're having this 6-man tag team, and I'm like, what the fuck and why? You have Ryback, Big Show, and Kane versus the Wyatts. I'm trying to get my head past this because you have a fucking idiot like Ryback who has no skills at all, Big Show who's on his way out and has done nothing but lose, and then you have Kane and his career is winding down. Andy, what the fuck is going on?
I just think they've got 6 people that they don't know what to do on the roster, and they've just got to give them a job. And that's the job, unfortunately. Why I've got the microphone, I'll put my bid out now. I think it's going to be the Wyatts because they've lost far too many times. If they keep losing, they're just going to become a joke.
Yeah, I agree, and especially if they lose to these 3 morons. Joe, your thoughts on this stupid-ass match?
Oh, my God, my head is hurting. It's a flashback of the Hillbillies versus Andre, Big John Studd, and Ken Patera. It's, you know, I agree with Andy. They got to give it to the Wyatts. If they're gonna push for a WrestleMania where a big man's match between Strowman and I was gonna say Andre and Big Slow, the Wyatts got to get this win over, and they got to do something to the Big Show to build up that WrestleMania match.
Yeah, I agree. Lance, over to you.
Absolutely, they have to give it to the Wyatt family. This will be one of the few times the Wyatt family will have actually won a damn feud. And hell, look, it's Ryback, Kane, and
Big Show.
And Big Show.
Big Slow.
Why the hell not give it to them? Come on.
It's Big Slow. You got Pain because it's a pain to keep seeing
and
him.
Ryback.
It's Ryberg now because he's got the Goldberg clothes.
He still botches.
Moving on, now we have a Divas tag team title. This is Becky Lynch and Sasha Banks versus Tamina and Naomi. Now, I'm going to be honest with you guys. Naomi, has never failed to impress me. But I have to say, my new favorite is Sasha Banks. This tag team between Lynch and Banks is going to be a very short-lived one because I think the only reason why they're doing this, which we'll get to, is the Divas match for the Divas title, Charlotte versus Brie Bella. Andy, your thoughts about this main event, this tag team event, and who do you think is going to win?
I really am on the shelf. I really don't know because whoever wins, I'm not that bothered, to be perfectly honest. I really am on the shelf, but I suppose I've got to make a prediction. So I will go with your friend, the red-haired girl, and I can never remember her name.
Becky Lynch.
Becky Lynch, yeah.
Yeah.
And
the Becky and the Banks.
Yeah, and for me, I have to admit, it's a bit of a coin tosser because, like I said, Becky and Sasha, I don't think there's going to be a long-time tag team, while Tamina and Naomi have been more of a team. So unless if we see a breaking up between Tamina and Naomi, I got to give it to them. Joe, your thoughts?
I'm going to give it to the Banks and Becky because one thing they're going to do is probably build up their feud soon to go with Charlotte. And what better way to do a WrestleMania Divas title match than have 3 of the most talented girls in one ring competing? So I got to give it to the Beckers and for the Lynch and for the Banker.
All right. You know what? Since we just talked about it, Brie and Charlotte are going to be facing each other for the Divas match. Now, recent news has talked about Brie Bella getting ready to retire. She's announced it, and she said it's going to be sometime in the summertime, and I think that's going to be at SummerSlam. Andy, even though Brie's leaving, you think they're going to give her the title one more time, or you think this is just a one and done?
I think, and we haven't got long to go. Is it a week?
You mean for Fastlane?
Yeah.
Yeah, it's this Sunday.
I can see somewhere along the line, either at Fastlane or SummerSlam, that she will put her career on the line, and that's where her retirement will happen.
And, that's another possibility. The match between Charlotte and Brie for the Divas title, who do you see winning out on this one?
You know what? This is a toss-up. Because I want to say they keep it with Charlotte to build up for WrestleMania for Banks and Lynch, because that would make an ideal thing. But I don't think they've ever done this before, and maybe I could be wrong. But if Brie wins it, which I hope not, I hope that they take it. If she does win it, they go to WrestleMania, and it'll be a four-way between, Brie, Charlotte, Lynch, and Banks. But I'm this one I can't really predict. I would like to say Charlotte because Ric Flair is at ringside, but pending her retirement, I'm really tossed up on this one. So I really can't even offer. This is going to be my coin toss. I'm playing that card.
And I can see that how this match can be very questionable. If I had to make a pick myself, I'd like to stick with Charlotte because they're giving her the dirtiest player in the game, and who better to get over as a heel than taking out Brie because everybody knows he's going to retire. Lance, your thoughts?
Personally, I'm going to say they're giving it to Brie. She'll hold it till WrestleMania and drop it. And let's go with Joe's Four Corners match idea.
Not a bad concept. I didn't really think about the Four Corners. I figured the triple threat, but Four Corners would probably be a great idea. The last match is for the IC title, and that's going to be Ziggler versus Owens in the IC title match.
That's a no-brainer. It's Owens all the way, unfortunately.
Yeah, and I think it's the pretty obvious one. They've not really been giving Ziggler that push, and they have been giving Owens that push. Joe, how do you see this playing out?
Basically, they're going to be using the Ziggler Meister as the bump dummy in the ring. So Owens is just going to give him the pump up power bomb, and that it's going to be a good match. But Owens all the way, and obviously it's going to come down to setting him up for someone at WrestleMania. But I got to say Owens because it's right there. It's no brainer.
All right, Lance, finally over to you.
Probably one of the possibilities of being one of the best matches of the night because both these guys can go. But as much of a fan of him as I am, as much of a Ziggler fan as I am, I got to go Owens.
Yeah, and I think that's the logical choice, or the obvious choice, so to speak, as to who's going to win. And now for the main event, it's a triple threat match versus Brock Lesnar versus Reigns and Dean Ambrose, and this is going to be a number one contenders match, which means whoever wins this is going to go on to WrestleMania to face Triple H for the title, which means they're going to be in the main event at WrestleMania. Now, the main person to win, or the odds-on favorite for the win, is Roman Reigns. And then, Joe, I think you and I talked about it before, how Reigns and Ambrose, how they've been kind of teasing that they're going to have that feud. I think we're going to see someone turn on someone. If that's going to be the case, it's got to be Ambrose.
May I take this one real quick?
Sure.
I want to throw that quick scenario. I'll make it fast. Right now, what we've seen here, we already seen the tease where Dean Ambrose grabbed Roman Reigns and tried to put the dirty deeds on him, but let him go. That kind of is the tease right there. Could it be something that happens during the match and it screws up and one of them gets pinned because of the other's mistake? I could see it happening. One thing let's look ahead a little bit. One thing we've always seen with WrestleMania up to now is their matches have been lackluster. So we need the spontaneous match. Ambrose versus Reigns at WrestleMania is going to be a big match. So my prediction for this would be Brock, because one, Brock has Paul Heyman, who doesn't like Stephanie and Triple H, and then vice versa. Brock, they can always play off the deal that he broke Triple H's arm I think a year ago or so. So that will be a really, really better match for WrestleMania's main event. And then to counter Stephanie at ringside, why not bring somebody else out there and be a Paul Heyman girl? Bring out Ronda Rousey. She's going to the dumps right now. What way to boost her character, boost her personality, make even for Vince through a little shot at Dana White, then bring back this poor person, get her in the spotlight, get her energies flowing, and let her carry Stephanie out of the ring. Boom, Brock Lesnar gets the win. Everybody goes home happy.
Again, I don't see Lesnar doing that because I see that Lesnar would want to have an alternate fight against another wrestler, one of the bigger wrestlers. If I really had to pick between Reigns and Ambrose, it really is that coin tosser. Most likely it's going to be Reigns, but you got to wonder if Ambrose is going to get the cheap win. But if you look in the past, Reigns and Ambrose have had several matches, and it always seems to be Reigns that comes out on top. So you got to wonder, even after the match of Reigns wins, could we see Ambrose maybe even turn on Reigns and kind of just out of frustration? Lance, your thoughts and picks?
Judging just by reading how WWE's been booking this road to WrestleMania, this is personally how I see it going. Roman winning, Brock possibly putting Dean Ambrose through a table or something, or him just doing some sick spot, and Brock is probably going to get jumped by the Wyatt family and cost him the title that way.
And that is a viable situation because we've seen over the past couple of weeks how the Wyatts have been having issues with Brock Lesnar. Andy, your picks and thoughts.
I'm going to go for Dean Ambrose, and the reason why I'm going to go for Dean Ambrose, I think Roman Reigns will get Brock Lesnar down, almost for the pin. Stephanie or Triple H will come out, and you know what happens when somebody comes out, they're having a feud. They stop fighting and stand there and look, and while he's looking, Dean Ambrose will nick the win.
There's so many different choices because this match is going to be an obvious shocker. As I said before, Reigns is the odds-on favorite, but you can only wonder if WWE's going to throw that proverbial curveball, which they've been known to do in the past. Well, you know what, guys? We are going to wrap this up here, and we want to thank the hardcore wrestling fans for listening. Make sure you put your comments in the comment section below to give you your thoughts. We want to know who's going to win or who's going to lose, or we're just off our fucking rockers, which usually I am. And make sure you like and share this video. And, of course, always hit that little subscribe button in the upper right-hand corner. Thank you for listening to us. I am your hardcore host, Rickhead. And, always, I want to thank the hardcore crew. First, he's the son of a bitch, Andy. Andy, you said you had a show coming up this weekend. Where can everybody find you?
Yes, I'm at a local drinking establishment, watering hole, bar, saloon, call it what you will, hotel bar, tomorrow, on Friday. I don't know what day this show's going to get out, on Friday, and that video will be up probably Monday evening, so you'll be able to see what happens on Monday. Every time we've been there, I think this is the fourth time we've been, we've had some major thing happen. In fact, if you look on the Stoke Haunted page, you will actually see one of the electronic tills. We locked a camera off on an electronic till and it starts working itself for no apparent reason. So there's a bit of poltergeist activity there. But if you want to see any of the footage, please go over to www.stokehaunted.com and that will link you to the FaceTube, Facebook, YouTube, and any other social networking sites. And thanks for the support.
We had the classic wrestling manager, Joseph Knight. Joe, you've been doing Retro Games, which is now under the HWR banner. What do we have coming up?
Well, this Saturday, actually, I'm going to do my preview and review of Castlevania from the Super Nintendo, Super Castlevania, which was one of the best Castlevania games of all time. That, and I'm finally going to get that Star Wars rant out of the way, so the Force Awakens, Rick, I'm going to grab you, and we're going to have our thing with you.
Yeah, absolutely, and I know we've been trying to do that for the past couple of weeks with your busy schedule, my busy schedule, but you know what? I think we're going to get together and get that done. And last but not least, Lance, you're over at youtube.com/LanceMossTV. What do you got going on? Where can people find you?
You can find me at youtube.com/LanceMossTV, like you said. You can also find me on Twitter. It's at LanceMossTV. And also, I got on my channel, I got album reviews, NASCAR discussion videos, redneck garment cooking videos, musical equipment reviews, some rants. Every Wednesday I go live with Lance Moss TV and friends. I don't know whoever's going to show up. And if I sound tireder than hell after the pay-per-view Sunday, that's because I probably am, because I had the Daytona 500 and then Fastlane the same damn day.
That sounds like a busy day. But if you want to join in the conversation, come on over in the group section on Facebook.com under the name HWR Chat Room. Until the next time, we'll see you when we see you. Thank you for listening to this edition of In the Moment. Be sure you subscribe to us over at youtube.com/HWR Show. And if you want to join in the conversation, head on over to the group section on Facebook.com under the name HWR Chat Room. Until the next time, this is your hardcore host, Rick Head, saying, we'll see you when we see you.